Super, thank you.
Yeah, okay.
I pledge allegiance to
the flag of the United States of America,
And
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Back, you could post the four-way test again. It would be fantastic. I think we'll recite the four-way test. So of the things we think, say, or do, number one.
Is it the
Is it the truth?
Number two.
Is it fair
To all concerned?
Number three.
Will
Friendships. And number four.
will it be
beneficial to all concerned?
Well, great, thanks. So I know we normally pray over our food, but I thought I might open our meeting in just a real brief prayer as well. Given all the circumstances that are happening in our country right now, I thought just a brief prayer for some resolution and some relationship building might be in order. So if I could ask you all just to bow your heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this opportunity to be Rotarians who are concerned about their brothers in the local community, their national community, and their world community, regardless of political belief, race, and gender and other items that seem to be so much in conflict. We ask that you would guide us to be beacons of light as we move forward in our communities, and we would set a leadership trend for behavior and how we treat one another. In your son's name we pray. Amen. Thank you. Okay, well, we were joking a little bit, and I know we've got a good group on the call today. I know I was really looking forward to our speaker today, Cynthia from Beirut, Lebanon. Unfortunately, there was a little bit of a glitch in the time zone difference, and so she is not able to be on the call with us today. So we're going to need to get that presenter rescheduled. It's just one of those issues, I guess, when we're working from, halfway around the world to connecting here in Gibsonia. So apologize for that. We'll get that. We'll try to get that squared away. Again, we don't need to necessarily keep everybody on the call, needlessly. But it might be helpful just to do a check-in around the system with everybody, see how everyone's doing. So if you guys are okay with that, let's just do a quick check-in, see how we're all hanging in there. Any good news to share? We'll kind of wrap some happy dollars into the process as well. I think it might be nice to find out what folks might be doing. And who knows, maybe someone has a creative idea here that might make life a little more interesting for someone else who's maybe not able to get out and about. So because Chuck's our program director, he's volunteered to fall on the sword first. So with that, Chuck, do you want to kick us off, please?
Absolutely. And Mary and I will be working on getting the people from Beirut rescheduled. Instead of a 6-hour time difference, it's a 7-hour time difference, and that managed to prevent them from being able to join us. But we are looking forward to getting them here eventually. So either in February or March, I'm sure we will have them on board with the correct time frame, as Gary so astutely pointed out was an issue. I thought actually it probably wouldn't be a bad idea, because we have some newer people here and some older people, is to briefly talk about what we do, and then just where we are in this crazy world right now. And myself, I think most everybody knows that I had been an attorney for 30 plus years and a sports agent representing professional baseball players. I stopped doing that about 8 years ago. I was semi-retired for a while, and now I've got more things that I know what to do with. I'm a realtor with Coldwell Banker. I teach part-time down at Point Park in their business school, involved with several nonprofits, and of course, involved with Rotary, which has always been very near and dear to my heart. Fortunately, with my immediate family, we really have not been directly impacted by COVID, but ironically, the one person to get COVID is Cindy's mom, my wife's mom, who is 102 years old. She's going to be 103 in March. She's in Concordia Cabot, and they had been doing so well for so long. And then December and January, they just had a lot of people come down with COVID. Ironically, she's come down with COVID. Was very weak. They actually brought in hospice and allowed visitors for last week, but she seems to be getting over it. She seems to be getting stronger. And when Cindy went up to visit her, just a couple days ago, she found her, she was getting her hair done. So knock on wood, yeah, things seem to be going pretty well there. But of course, it is crazy. I'm fortunate. I've got my kids all here in the area. I've got a son here in Pine who's got 2 grandkids. I've got a daughter down in Lebanon with 2 granddaughters. I've got one son that we had some trouble with who had panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and that led to a drinking problem and spent 17 days in the hospital last year. But has gotten out, has been clean, still living with us right now, but hopes to get back out west sometime this spring. So that's been going a lot better. So that's pretty much where I am. I'm, like everyone else, you get cabin fever times 100 with this situation right now. So I'm certainly looking forward to getting out. But Zoom, although it's certainly not perfect, does give us this opportunity to get involved, see people. So all in all, and I guess the one other thing that's going for me right now is there's a few of you who might know that I have had the misfortune, often shame of being a longtime Cleveland Browns fan. But needless to say, things are going better. So I'll end it on that note.
Hey, Mac, is there some way to just like remove him from the,
You might not get any more programs.
you know what? Sometimes you just have
just
to draw
muted
the
him,
line,
so.
Chuck.
We'll just put him on mute.
Okay. Tom Kadar, since you were featured in the newsletter this past week, maybe you have a few more things you could add, some color around your history and background. The picture that Gary included in there, I was wondering if that was your high school graduation picture.
Actually, it's funny. I pulled that thing out of there, out of the computer, and it was it ended up not being the right one, but it was a picture of when I was interviewing to go to Rivers Casino. And it's from a house in New Jersey where I was living at the time. But yeah, hotel people, we all got clobbered in 2020, but there's a lot of silver linings, and I try to actually mention a few of my outlooks in the spotlight, which I still kind of hang on to. The future of the hotel business is such that we probably won't even be going until mid-year. And it's I guess it's a matter of how well the vaccine gets distributed, which doesn't seem to be going too well right now. But I had a silver lining, like I said, in a lot of different ways. Man, I became a farmer over the year. I learned all about how you get stuff going on the back porch, and I was able to enjoy my house. And we had quite a Christmas. We had quite a Thanksgiving. There was, all of a sudden there are grandkids around, which I didn't really ever think that was going to be a deal. But we had quite the year, in spite of it all. So I like to think that, the good Lord has given us a break. because we really, if you know anything about working in hotels, you spend 24/7 really working away at it, no matter whether it's operations or sales or whatever you're doing. And I feel really bad for the people that, are mainly restaurant oriented and food and beverage oriented, because they're the ones that are really in worse shape than we are right now. Um, Hopefully we can get this sooner rather than later.
Great, Tom. Well, thanks very much. Thanks for sharing a little bit. Lou, you're one of the newer guys to the club, newer folks to the club. You want to take a couple minutes and share a little bit about how you wound up at our club, and you were part of that Mancuso recruiting class, I'm sure, but maybe talk a little bit about your background and how you wound up here.
Well, yes, I am part of the Mancuso recruiting class. We used to take our drive to the Treesdale Country Club and for the first couple times, and then everything happened. Dan met me at the Mars Brew House of all places.
Down here, same person. Right there, audio, start the video.
A day before we had a golf meeting at Joe's, and then I was driving to Virginia for a dinner, and the accountant says, "We're not taking your stuff, just mail it." So we turned around and had lunch at John Benet Tavern and went back, and I'm just really glad to see all your faces and glad to be part of this, and hope I can contribute. And thank you.
Now, Lou, you're retired, right?
Right, I'm retired.
What did you do for your?
Well, I worked for basically Westinghouse for 40 years, and then in the middle of all that, I was in the National Guard, and so we moved up. We were in Virginia for 20 years. I was working at the shipyard down there, and then we moved back to be closer to our grandchildren. And so here we are in Pittsburgh, and trying to suffer through the awful game last weekend. But we'll keep moving forward.
Good. Well, we're glad to have you in the club, and it's good to see you on the call. I kind of missed you hiking over from your house to the Adams Township Park shelter.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to do that.
Well, hopefully we can get back to regular meetings, but if not, maybe in the springtime we'll be doing the shelters all over again.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Good. Joe Mancuso, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you very much.
Good.
And you want to hear a little bit about what's going on with Joe?
I don't know. You want to put it up for a vote? Everybody that wants to raise their hand. Yes. Okay. Yes. For sure.
Okay. Very good. At least I have one friend. Hey, the big news in the Mancuso family right now is some of you may know already, but my son Mike was selected as the head basketball coach at Avonworth High School. And so with the COVID as it's been kind of rough for his initial year as a varsity head coach, but he's managed to survive that. And both Monday and Tuesday, he walked away with his first two victories as a head coach. Last night, his team was up 29 points against New Brighton, so that was great. And we're really excited about the opportunity for Mike to really share with the young kids there at Avonworth High School. He's been a phys ed teacher there for 8 years or so, 8 or 9 years. He's been a varsity football coach, assistant coach. He was a defensive coordinator for quite a while there at Avonworth too. But when selected as the head basketball coach, he decided to give up on the football business and just concentrate on basketball. I think was a good decision on his part. They're doing well, so we're excited about that. Our holidays was like most others, was a little calmer than normal. Typically in past years, we've had anywhere from 75 to 80 family members here at the house for Christmas Eve. That didn't happen this year, obviously. We ended up with just our kids and grandkids, but it turned out to be a great day, and we enjoyed having the family here, of course. And other than that, things have been relatively calm. There's been no golf in the past few weeks or months due to the weather, but looking forward to getting some better weather and maybe getting out and hitting that little ball every now and then. So that's what's going on with us. Other than some of you may know that my youngest daughter, I have 4 children, 2 girls, 2 boys. The youngest daughter had a very premature baby at 25 weeks. And that was a struggle this past year. And my wife, Michelle, and I have been doing quite a bit of babysitting with the little guy, Wyatt Joseph. And but he's doing quite well now. He's up to 19 pounds. He looks like a little tank. So he's doing well. And we're happy about that. Michelle, actually, my wife is there right now taking care of the 2 kids. So a lot of babysitting has been happening here in our household. So that's about it.
All right, Joe. Well, who's babysitting you then right now? Nobody. Are you on your own?
No, I got the dog right at my feet right now. I'm surprised he's crying. He's 12 years old and all he does is moan right now. It's kind of like me. I do a lot of moaning too.
All right, Joe. Well, thanks. Thanks for sharing that. Well, who else? Dallas Hipple. Dallas, you're down in North Carolina. I hope you're a little warmer than we are.
Certainly warmer than you are, but it's been cold down here. I was in Myrtle Beach the other day and I woke up, it was 33 degrees. But I do have a tea time on Friday, so I'm happy with that. Should be in the 60s. I went to Cincinnati for Christmas and I went to Tampa for New Year's, went to Sebring for a couple of days and then Myrtle Beach, and now I'm back here. So it's warmer here than it is there. I got my COVID shot yesterday, which I'm pleased to have accomplished. It went pretty smooth.
Dallas, did you just have to go to like a drugstore and show your license, or how did that all?
No, a couple of years ago, I had some stomach issues, and I went to a doctor, and I must have got on their my chart at that point in time. And the other day, I was calling on telephone and getting no answers from anybody, and I was fooling around with the computer trying to find out what was going on, and I got an email from Advent, and just that quick, I had my choice of 2 or 3 days and 4 or 5 different times, and it went pretty slick. No traffic line at all. I sat in the parking lot for an hour until they called me in, but other than that, it was pretty smooth.
I was wondering, Dallas, maybe you could call Dr. Rachel and give her some pointers on how North Carolina's doing it, maybe speed it up a little.
It's difficult to understand that North Carolina is ahead of Pennsylvania when it comes to sophistication. I have a daughter that's a volunteer EMT person outside of Dulles Airport. And then she's also doing volunteer work at a warehouse without heating where they're giving shots. And I'm not real happy about that. She has got a shot, but I'm a little concerned about her involvement. And actually, she's going to be on the mall next week as a volunteer EMT person. So I sure hope that goes smooth. I've talked about my grandson at Notre Dame. He's playing a lot of hockey and his grades are very good. So I'm pleased that they're not having any problems. But I put Notre Dame up there with Ohio State and the Cleveland Browns when it comes to favorites. But I'm still pleased with their hockey team. So other than that, things are good.
Good. Anybody have any questions for Dallas? Anybody want to know anything from Dallas?
Nobody ever wants to know anything from me.
All right, Dallas. Well, I just threw that out. You're off the hook, I guess.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Who else haven't we gotten an update for a while? Rich, how you doing? You're on mute, Rich.
Can you hear me now?
We can.
Well, that's good. That's good. Oh, we're doing fine. Everybody, we had a good Christmas and a good New Year's. Family's doing good. The only concern I have right now is my grandson's in the Army National Guard, and their unit might be going down to DC. So that's a little concern because he told me the only thing they'll have is their helmet and their vest. They won't be issued anything else. So, you know, all the pictures I see down there, it just makes me a little concerned. But besides that, we're all doing good. Virginia got her COVID shot on 17th, I think it was, because she works at a funeral home part-time, and they got called to get shots, and she didn't have any problems. She didn't grow a third head or anything like everybody's always worried about. But besides that, we're doing good, just working around the house, miss getting together with Rotary. Not so much on Zoom, but more in person. Miss talking to all you guys and seeing things, you know. I just have one question, Jim. The community service person, that's who's in charge of that this year?
That's Mr. Joe Mancuso.
Oh, thought so. I don't know if we're going to plan on doing the PARC picnic in August if things clear up. But Joe, you need to contact the Butler City to reserve the park. It doesn't cost anything. We just have to get our name on the books in case we do have the picnic. I don't know if that's on the schedule or not, but if it is, you have to reserve the park ahead of time, and they do it in January.
And what park would that be, Rich?
That's Alameda Park.
Alameda, okay.
Yeah. And
It's not, it's Memorial Park.
oh, that's right. Sorry. Butler Memorial Park. Thanks, Mac. Yeah, just call the city treasurer and she does the booking of it and tell her you're Rotary. We have no charge for using it. We just have to pay for the key when we get it. But we just need to get our names on the book in case we do have that picnic.
Okay.
Besides that, guys, everything's going good. Trying to make a little bit of money here and there, but it's not happening. There's nothing going on right now to make any money at. But you know, we're surviving and looking for a good year. Things clear up. And it's good talking to all you and good seeing you all there. Thanks, Jim.
You have a
Tell your
visitor
son to
behind
watch out for
you.
my daughter at the mall.
Jim,
Come over this way. Yeah, there's.
good to see some guys. How are ya?
Good.
Good.
I was thinking about you guys because the farm show's been broadcast on television. So have you guys been watching the farm show every day?
No, not really. I probably should be because in October I got elected as the vice president of the Pennsylvania State Grange. So you know, that's just another job I decided to take on.
Well, congratulations. And is that because you volunteered or everybody else stepped back a step?
A little bit of both.
Some of both.
A little bit of both. And Virginia got elected back as a state officer also. So we got 2 more years now to do something, whether it's right or wrong, we're going to do it.
Mr. Chips,
Hello,
how are ya?
I'm doing good.
That's good. That's good.
It's good to know everybody's still healthy down there.
Yeah, I think everybody's working on that, trying to stay that way anyhow.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, thanks, Jim. Good talking to you guys.
take
Good.
care.
Well, good to see you all. Thanks for sharing, Rick.
Hey, Jim, one thought. We've got Darla Bada from the Keystone E Club with us.
She was next on my list. I was going to ask if she would please introduce herself to us. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Darla Mata, and I'm currently the club administrator for the Keystone E Club, which is part of District 7280. And if you don't know anything about E Clubs, I'm the person to talk to. I feel like that's kind of my full-time job anymore, even though it's really not supposed to be. But our E Club was originated back in Tom Shelgren's day and Rushdie Bakali, and it was established as the E Club of District 7280. We now have an international base. We are up from when I was president a year ago, we had 14 members. We are now up to 58 members. So I'm pretty excited about that. And we actually have 4 new members to orient and vote on here this week. We have 2 different types of membership. We have members that are official Rotarians with our club. We also have a friends and family membership that we established so that we can continue to make connections all around the world. Some of our members live in Africa, in Canada, in the United Kingdom, and New Zealand. So we represent several countries, and even in the United States, we represent 7 different states. Our friends and family membership has been established actually through this COVID time, where Rotarians from other clubs, maybe that have members or stop meeting in person, they have the opportunity to join our club and become part of our conversations and our projects, and just to make a connection for their club so that they have that international piece right there. And several of your members are members of our club as well. And it's just been such a blessing for us. So me, myself, I used to live in Grove City. I was born and raised in Ohio Township, so I'm an Avonworth grad. Just to show more connections. And my son actually was hired last year as the head coach of the Slippery Rock High School. They're in a different league, but he's the basketball coach at Slippery Rock High School. My kids all promised me that they were moving to North Carolina too, but that one in Slippery Rock, he actually lived in the Richland area and got a job at Slippery Rock High School as their technology teacher. So he's landed there, and they are having our very first grandchild. So I'm pretty excited, and I will be back in the area on a regular basis starting in May to see our little baby girl coming. So
Darla,
other than
where
that,
do you live in North Carolina?
I live just east of Raleigh right now.
Okay.
And I'm semi-retired. I definitely, we sold our businesses. We used to have a banquet and conference center and a restaurant and a catering business up in the Grove City area. And I'm excited to say that, thankfully, before all of this pandemic hit, we've sold our businesses and moved to this area for my husband's work as a nurse practitioner. And now in addition to helping in the neighborhood babysit some kids, I'm also my husband and I are going through training to become foster parents, and we help to do sales for a family member who owns a heating and air conditioning business and sells UV air purification systems. So just been kind of doing odds and end things. We're CPR instructors, so we travel around and do that. So just a little bit of this and that, and heavily involved in Rotary by all means.
Darla, are you a golfer?
I am not a golfer.
I was going to say, because Dallas lives in Wilmington, maybe he's
Not
looking
very
for somebody
far.
to play some golf with him.
That's one of the things of all the sports my kids have done over the years, because I have 3 boys. Golf has not been one of them. But I'd still love to meet up with you, though. Again, my goal is connecting Rotarians all over the place. So it's my dream to have people here. We actually moved from a farm in Grove City to now have a lake, which we've never been very much of the boating type of family, but we have a beautiful view of a lake, which has come in very handy during this pandemic, I have to say.
Darla, what's the program for tomorrow's Keystone meeting?
Tomorrow, actually, Scott Bayline has arranged for a past district governor in Pennsylvania that he is friends with to speak about some needs in India, where he is from, for school children. So it's addressing some desperate situations there. And if I may also mention, we're in the middle of a cookbook project, if you haven't heard it already. Our club, it's being an e-club, we only meet online. I've never met most of my club members, even though I feel very close to them because we meet online every week. It seems very odd for you and very much of a disconnect, but for us, it's daily life for our club. So we've had to be very creative in our fundraisers. And this first part of the year, we're actually doing a cookbook fundraiser where we're asking fellow Rotarians like yourselves to submit recipes through our website, KeystoneRotaryClub.org. And you can easily submit the recipe there. And we're putting the recipes together in a cookbook and we'll be selling them. It'll be available in a hard print copy at the end of March, beginning of April, in time for Easter and also for Mother's Day. And we're also announcing this week, we're teaming up with other clubs like yourself that might be interested in partnering with us to do a fundraiser. So we'll do all the work, we'll put it together. We'll give you even a half-page ad in the book and a free book to boot. And for your club, if you sell X amount of copies, you can make up to $10 per book as profit for you to do a fundraiser, because we realize that everybody's in the same boat right now and doing fundraisers is a very difficult thing. So if your club can sell any number of books, again, we're offering to give you a majority of the profit to help us with the sales.
Great. Well, welcome and thanks for the update. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Who else would like to share a little bit about what they've been up to and what's going on?
Well, I want to just mention something. Joe, when you're working on the park picnic date, you need to contact Mary Lord. Mary has been ducking out of the park picnic for years now because somehow we always seem to schedule it on a week that she's out of town working on a carnival.
Mac, I go away 1 week a year. One week a year, Mac, I disappear and you guys manage to schedule it. 1 week, that's it.
Well, that's what we're trying to work around that this year. Make sure you can attend.
Well, you know, the other thing, Mac, is I think we need to make sure that Mary knows the exact time zone, that it's going to be daylight savings, not, you know, Eastern Standard Time. So then we'll be in good shape on that as well, right, Mary?
Yeah, that was my mistake. But when we were originally talking, that's okay. I went over it with her, but miscommunication. So
no need to defend yourself, Mary. Just teasing along with Mac. That's all.
The park picnic will
Toss
be
her
at
right
5
under the bus,
p.m.
Jim.
UTC -4. So
Trust me, that time zone thing has messed our club up a million times. It's easy to do.
Well, who else? Anybody else? Sharon, what's been happening with Sharon Scheidemantel?
Well, hi, everybody. As you can well imagine, when we were released to go back as essential workers on May 15th, I hit the ground running. So I had a really terrific year last year. I'm happy to say Dylan is working with me now, and he had 1 year to go at Penn State, and he was taking classes, and they of course became online in this last fall. And he just said, you know what, I'm not getting anything out of this. It's crazy for me to do this. So I said, let's activate your real estate license and, you know, let's make some money. So Dylan's been working with me, and he's going to chip away and go over to Penn State Beaver and take a couple classes every semester as soon as it's in person. The online learning is really hard, and it was really becoming very much a waste of his time. So he's going to chip away and he'll get done when he gets done. In the meantime, we're enjoying working together. And if anything could go wrong though in 2021, it did. Keith and I are actually separated and going our separate ways. He and I guess ever since he's been sick, he's wanted to have a slower lifestyle, and anybody that knows me knows that I'm the ever ready bunny, and that just really doesn't work in my world. And by the way, Keith's 10 years older than me too, so it was really a very mutual thing, very amicable. We're going to continue to work together, but just need to go our separate ways as far as that goes. So happy news, sad news, but news. And we're both very, very resigned to just going forward in our different paths. And he's by the way, has been diagnosed with NED, which means no evidence of disease. I think you might have heard that on that previous cancer call. So we couldn't be happier about that.
Good news. Mac, what are we viewing here, Mac?
Time zones of the world.
Oh my gosh.
Everyone wants to get oriented.
Okay.
I'm just giving Mary a hard time.
Well, that's very good. Thank you, Mac. We appreciate it. You have a plethora of information at your disposal. Larry Bracco, what's happening with you? I saw you get up and wandered away. Did we?
Yeah, I had to answer a call. I'm still working. Even though I'm here, I'm still working. You know what? The Brackos have been COVID free. We've been okay. We did get a chance. I want to sort of dance around with the different Rotarians and comment on some of the things that they said. Joe, we don't have any grandbabies in this state. Our grandbabies are in Atlanta. So we were able to go down during Christmas and see our two little grandbabies. I got a little, little boy, it's 3, and Landon, it's 6 months. So they're a handful, but they were certainly enjoyable to be with. The center, we got back January 4th to be open. But again, we're limited with programs and things like that, but the rentals have been pretty strong. But we did get word on next Monday, our preschool will be back in session. They've been virtual just like the school districts. So it's been sort of a ghost town. It's always such a popular happening place that when you can hear crickets sometimes when there's no kids around, and the youth center is supposed to have kids and a lot of involvement. So we're real happy to have everybody back, and we're going to do all our masks and everything and distancing, but it's going to be good to have people back in the building at this point. Now, Chuck, Cindy went up me. My mom turned 101 last September. Now I haven't hugged my mother since March, and I visit her through the window once a week. She's not in Amber Woods, and my wife's a hairdresser who was off quite a bit, but she's back as well. But she always did my mother's hair. So my mother has not had her hair done. It's been washed, but it's not been done since March. So they don't have any hairdressers on staff because they refuse to do that. And it's pretty interesting to see all the women in all their hair. It's all gray. I mean, a lot of them had their hair colored, but now it's all gray and straight. And my wife can't wait to get a hold of my mom as soon as we're able to get down and see her. Now, my wife also works with a couple. Rich, my wife works for a couple funeral homes as well as a hairdresser, so she was just put on the waiting list to get a shot. So hopefully that will happen. I think there's 800 people in front of her. Dallas, and I haven't golfed yet, although I did watch the golf in Hawaii this past week, and they're going to be in Hawaii again this weekend. So that's exciting to watch and know that we're going to be able to do that again real soon. And Darla Wada, your son AJ has done several basketball clinics for the youth center over the last 4 years. He was on Jeff Ackerman's staff with Pine Richland. So I know AJ very well and give him my best. I hope he's doing well at Slippery.
Thank you so much. That's so awesome to hear. He is doing. It is a very small world. He loved his time.
He's a nice young man. I'm glad he got his opportunity.
Thank you. He loved his time at Pine Richland. By all means, he learned so much. So thank you. I'll pass that along to him.
Good.
But other than that, we're just trying to stay safe. We're doing a lot of fundraising right now. This is my big month for fundraising in January and February to try to set the stage for the year. And but the center's taking their hits, but our lights are still, the heat's still on. We're hanging in there, and hopefully I'll get a rebound this year and have a great year.
Great. All right, Larry. Well, thanks for the update. Appreciate it. Ken Fleeson, what's happening with the Fleesons?
All's good with the Fleesons. Everybody's healthy. Our daughter, the boys started back to school this week. Jaden's going back. He's the youngest one. He's in first grade. He's going back 5 days a week, while Jovan's only going back 3 days a week. And he's not very happy about that. He'd rather be in school in physical. So, but the good news is that he started basketball on Saturday and indoor flag football. So Laura's also happy about that because Jovan found the refrigerator door way too often and gained some weight over COVID. So now he can lose a little bit of it. But no, everybody's doing good. Thanks.
Good, and I'm sure the household up there is very happy about the playoff game, right, Ken?
Yeah, my daughter, right from the get-go, there was a text exchange going back and forth between Laura, Brian, and I. But then it wasn't worth it anymore. We all quit. So, and I was gonna send my son-in-law a text and congratulate him, and I didn't. But then I'm probably just as glad after watching that game on Monday night where they got a shellacking, which I was happy to see. So.
Oh,
so
well.
and I guess if you look at it from the standpoint that even if the Steelers had won that game, I don't think they had much chance of going on any further. So let Cleveland now take their lumps against Kansas City and we'll move on.
Who knows? Maybe they're on a trajectory. They'll be the next Super Bowl team, Ken.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Mahomes is going to throw through.
Yeah, he's not going to throw 4 interceptions, right? All right, Ken. Well, Ken's tied up. Ken, you didn't pay your internet bill or something.
Yeah, I don't know what goes on. I mean, I'm even wired in, and the connection is not good. So.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, Amy, what are you doing down there? We get to see you for once. You're not on just The Voice.
I know, right? We had our webcams on order at MHY for months, and now we all got our new webcams with a microphone, so it's like Christmas here. Yeah, we never shut down, as you might expect, like a lot of us. So MHY has been really shockingly healthy. So we're all healthy and good here. My family is good. My daughter is the only one that had a COVID positive experience, and it happened to be during finals week of her last semester. So she went through finals and graduation with COVID. But she's healthy and doing well, and just had her last interview with Enterprise Rental Car today. So we're waiting to see if she's going to be a new full-time employee, which is exciting. But yeah, we're just trucking along and hoping that this is all going to be over soon and we'll all get vaccinated and can travel and have a summer and go to a concert. But we're doing well. Right prior to this meeting, I will share just a little update. The Mar Rotary has been so graciously investing in helping us with our renovations for the gym. And our last step is to put in new flooring. We had an issue with supplies, as you can imagine. The material that we're getting is coming from Texas, and we've not been able to get it in. And I received a call from the company who said that we can get scheduled for early to late spring. So we're hoping that this summer, your gracious investment, our gracious investment of funding will allow for the new gym floor to be in by, hopefully by midsummer. So that happened just literally minutes before I jumped on this call. So I want to thank you for the most recent gift, because that's going to also go to finishing that project.
Good, great. Hey, any update on the Mars New Year celebration and activities?
Yeah, we had a meeting. Chuck, where's Chuck? Did I miss him? He scooted. Oh, he's off. We just received an email that our meeting for Thursday is canceled. Everything is just so up in the air. I think we are going to change. We had the kickoff dinner scheduled in February. It's probably going to be a virtual event, if we do anything at all. I think the group wants to continue for a summer celebration. I would expect that we're going to do something this summer. I just don't know what that's going to look like. Chuck, do you know anything?
Yeah, they're not really planning anything for February. There is the landing, the Perseverance landing on February 18th, and they might do a small thing around that. But the hope is still to do the full event with the kids and the contest and astrobotics and NASA. So I think we're waiting for NASA to get back to us about their involvement going forward. And that's why why they canceled the meeting, was they're waiting to hear back from NASA to decide exactly what they can or can't do. So it's COVID has impacted that, but I think we'll still persevere and get something up.
Good, good. Carson, how are you?
Doing well. 2020 was crazy. Obviously, work-wise, we know what obviously the market did, and come back, which was good for, I think, many people. My fiance and I are actually breaking ground on our house. We got confirmation today on February 3rd. So that was some good news today. It's been crazy. Obviously, we had so much snow in December. We've been pushed off a couple of weeks, but finally got the go ahead today. So that should be starting February 3rd. Actually, we're 1 year away from our wedding. We're getting married January 29th of 2022. So it's been crazy trying to plan that. Hopefully, COVID is kind of a done deal by next year at that time. We don't have to have a 20-person wedding as many people that I personally know had this past summer. So hopefully that should be good to go by next year. And kind of piggybacking off of Chuck Barris, he mentioned being a big Browns fan. I'm actually a big Buffalo Bills fan. So playing the Ravens this week, hopefully, I think they're a 2.5-point favorite right now. So hopefully the Bills can take on the Browns, which obviously they won their first playoff game in 25 years. I actually was 1 year old the last time the Bills won a playoff game. So it was good to see. So yeah, I was one. So it was nice to see something that really I have don't ever remember. So hopefully they can take on the Ravens and get to the Super Bowl here. So
Carson, were you alive when Buffalo went to all the Super Bowls and lost?
So I was born in 94. So I believe it was 90 through 94, if I'm not mistaken. So I was born in July of 94 there. So my parents are both from Buffalo. Both my parents' sides of the family, a lot of them are still there. So I hear the horror stories of going 0 for 4 4 years straight. But hopefully this year maybe it can turn into a Super Bowl win. So.
Well, all of history is meant to be changed and reversed at some point in time. So hopefully that will
Absolutely
for the Bills.
Hopefully the crazy year of 2020 may be the year. Who knows? So.
Well, definitely January of 2022 will be a good month and a good year. So.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
Good. A couple of last folks here. Mary, Lord, anything for us to get updated on?
I don't think so.
Okay, I always don't you love it when somebody cooperates? Thanks a lot, Mary. Okay, Gary Weston, what's going on?
Got unmuted there. Bev and I are doing fine. My wife Bev, for those of you who don't know, we've been hunkered down. Maybe more than most in terms of the COVID. She pretty much does all the shopping, And now that golf is done for the year, I spend most of my time here in the house in this study or on our sunroom. But thankfully, our family has weathered it pretty well. My second oldest daughter had a medium case, I would say, but she was down for about 10 days, but worked through it. Her husband had a milder case. Her son had probably brought it into the house. He basically had no symptoms, but her father-in-law just passed away about a week ago. They said it was due to COVID, but really, he was in pretty rough shape anyway. He was 90, so he was in a nursing home down in Ross Township. But we're getting through it. For those of you who don't know, I have 6 grandkids and 2 great-grandkids. So 2 of my grandkids have been doing high school online. The one by choice, he just prefers it, says it's better. He talked to his friends who are in class and they say it's a waste. You can't talk to anybody. It's all everybody's distance. So he's content to just do it via Zoom. And I have two of the grandkids are in college, one at Pitt and one at Ohio University, and both of them are doing it online as well. So they're kind of really missing out on the college experience, though. So one's a freshman, one's a sophomore. I hope they can get back to it fairly quickly. I hate for them to miss that. Sharon, I just encourage you, make sure Dylan goes back and finishes. I dropped out of Penn State in my junior year, sold real estate, made a ton of money. Back, if you can imagine, in 1969, I made $12,000 in 3 months. And I thought, oh, what do I need college for, right? That was like one of the biggest mistakes I ever made in my life. So I just really encourage them to go back. I mean, obviously I went back and finished, but it was a lot harder, and just better to get it completed while he's still younger.
He's actually going to chip away at it. He's taking 2 English classes, which I think will be easy to do online, starting on Monday. And then he's going to take 1 or 2 classes until he's done. And it's very convenient for him to just drive over to Penn State Penn State Beaver. It's a half an hour away. So we're just going to chip away at it. And in the meantime, he's going to do, I think, mostly office leasing. There's a real need for that in the Wexford market, and that allows him to make his schedule around those couple classes that he takes each time. So, oh yeah, that's a very high priority here. Trust me.
Good.
Thank you.
Thanks. Joe, I'll just mention, I too had a connection with Avonworth. I used to live in Ohio Township years ago, and my kids went to Avonworth for a couple of years. Other than that, obviously I'm involved with Rotary, and still very, very much involved with the Honduras Hope Mission. And in fact, we're working, we have a hybrid mission that's going to work this year from January 23rd to the 29th, where we have a team of doctors who are up here in PA who are going to meet with folks who come into our Hope Center one at a time by appointment, doing televisits. And then we're contracting with 3 doctors, and they're going to be going door to door in La Villa de San Francisco in Honduras. And so they'll be going from house to house, meeting with the families, and they figure they can see about 100 to 150 people per day per doctor by going door to door. Because in Honduras, everything is still locked down pretty tight in terms of curfew. So they're saying actually one of the pluses of doing it this way is we're going to be able to see a lot more of the men who typically have been out working in the fields or something somewhere. who will be in the houses. So we're gonna see how that works. At least it'll get us through this year, and we'll be able to still, deliver some care to the folks there in Honduras. But like everybody else, I'm sure anxious. I haven't had a hug from my grandkids or my daughters or great grandchildren since last March. So I'm anxious to see them as soon as we can. Bev and I are both on, I think we're in group 1B, they say. We're getting a COVID vaccine. So hopefully that will be in place within not too much longer here and can kind of get back to a semblance of normalcy. So, but we're doing well. Thanks for asking.
All right, Gary, super. Well, I know we're getting close to the 1 o'clock time. We've hit just about everybody, but John Chips, you got any updates for us?
A couple. I came across an obituary. This is Marjorie Burke. Marjorie Burke was the wife of one of our early members, John Burke. She was a fisher, and John and Marjorie ran Fisher Nurseries out Sandy Hill Road. And I don't think any of you are in the club at the time John was in there. So just a note.
Yeah.
And as far as myself, I did get the vaccine a week ago Monday. I'll get the second February 1st, and 2 weeks later, I'll be able to go back to work. So I'm still going in the office, doing administrative work. I do exams for the hygienist, but I actually haven't been doing dentistry. We just had a new system installed in both offices that is in the HVAC system that converts air to hydrogen peroxide and blows it through the whole office. And that runs 24/7. So, and of course, if you're aware, that kills the virus. So we pretty much have a sterile environment in our office now, and hopefully things will pick up.
John, I appreciated you sending me that email about Margie Burke. When I was at Bakerstown on staff, I used to visit her every month, take communion to her for about 5 years. And just a dear lady, and insistent too. Even after I retired, she used to call me and say, "Hey, can't you come over and serve me communions?" She was a great lady, great lady.
Great.
That's
Well,
about me.
Thanks for sharing, John. I appreciate it. Jim Ian, are you around? I see your screen and I see a window and a door, but I'm not sure if you're there anymore.
I am here.
Okay, Jim, what's happening? Are you in Pennsylvania or South Carolina?
We're in Pennsylvania. About 3 weeks ago, maybe a little more, we picked up an 8-week-old puppy. And ever since then, not getting as much sleep. Clock usually for me, and take her out, and then Melinda gets up 3 and then again at 6. So we have a 15-pound Labrador who's disrupted the household pretty significantly. She also likes to chew. I've got 3 or 4 different marks on both hands from where she'll lick your hand and then bite it. Other than that, it's here. I don't think we're going to be getting down to St. Simon's down in Georgia until sometime mid-February. Got a couple of things we have to get out of the way before we leave here. And there's no compelling reason why we would go down there otherwise. The numbers down there are alarming for the virus. we were last down there in March. And when we left, the numbers were very good. But within about 3 or 4 weeks, they had gone through the roof and it continued to be very high. So other than that, I'm doing chores around the house, putting up Christmas decorations, taking down Christmas decorations, rearranging the attic, a lot of exciting stuff. Doing a lot of, I would highly recommend to those of you who have an interest in World War II history, there's a book called In the Bile. It's by a guy by the name of Larson. It's an 800 pager, so it's not something you read in bed before you go to sleep, but it's it's on Churchill. Very, very interesting. Melinda's keeping busy with all kinds of things, and we were pretty much bouncing off the walls here. If I had my choice, I'd be down at the house in Georgia because it's got a good deal more room in it, and I have a separate office. Here, I have a desk in the and the desk is piled pretty high with books, so not really doing anything much outside the house. I was struck with the comments about a lady who's 108, is that right? And gonna be 109. My mom turned 100 last February, and her birthday is February 26th, so she's coming up on 101, and she's doing fine. Her only contact is outside the house. She lives in the house I grew up in. Is she gets her hair done every other Saturday, and that's otherwise she's inside the house, and the neighbors. She lives out in Waynesburg, and the neighbors are very, very good about taking the garbage out and putting the mail on the front porch and that kind of stuff. But my sister and I, between us, each talk to mom once a day. Usually my sister sometime in the forenoon, and I usually call her somewhere around 9, 10 o'clock at night. And we go down through the checklist of cousins and brothers and sisters and how are they doing and how are they not doing. But the wife and I are both getting a little bit of cabin fever here. It does feel like every day's Groundhog Day, and it's pretty bad when you have to check the front page of the Wall Street Journal, make sure you're sure what day it is. But other than that, one day at a time.
Okay, Jim. Well, thanks. Thanks. Can you show us the puppy, or is the puppy down at your feet?
She's right here. Hold on one second.
Holy crap.
This is Abigail.
Chloe, look.
Short name Abby. She knows her name. She knows to go out and when to let you know to go out. She's gaming the system. I took her out 3 times last night in the last 45 minutes before I went to bed. And I swear she just wanted to go out to run and play. But she's a good puppy.
Yeah, looks great. And I guess, Mary, we're seeing your puppy too.
So my puppy's 6 months old now. This is Chloe. She's a bratty child, comes to the office every day with me, so I'm pretty lucky. Chloe, you get to come to the office with Mama.
All right. Well, thanks, Jim. Hey, save the two
Hey,
best.
Jim, just seeing the puppies reminded me because my wife walks Vogel's dogs, but just an update with Ed Vogel. He went into the hospital last Wednesday, did get out on Friday. And it's having to do with his blood pressures, just kind of keeps going up and down. So just an update for him.
Thanks, Gary. Well, Dan and Mac, save the two guys for the very end. Do you guys have anything to share with us? I know, Dan, gosh, you feel a little bit probably like Mike Pence these days, but Mac, Dan, anything?
I don't know if I can invoke the 25th. You seem to be doing a pretty good job there.
Mac,
I do have a question for Joe Mancuso.
Uh-oh.
And this is when we have the night at the races. Joe needs to bring all 75 to 80 of those people who show up for the holidays. I don't care if they're underage. They're going to come in and they're going to bet on races.
I'll work on that.
Hey, everything's well at the Goss household. Alex is climbing the walls. He hasn't played lacrosse since February of last year. And they've started up again. However, the protocols aren't to the place where I'd like to see them, as Lois takes care of her 94-year-old dad. And we just don't want to take any chances. I'm secluded here in my office, but when I walk out, I'm masked up. Really, for the people around me, but also selfishly, I don't want to contract anything. And last but not least, Bucknell and Lehigh, they haven't given up on anything. They play this Saturday, Mac. I don't know if we want to watch them play basketball because Bucknell's 0-4 and Lehigh is 1-3. So I don't think they'll be going to the NC2As anytime soon.
I guess the women's team is on fire. I saw some little blurb. And as far as I go, everybody's healthy. We're just living Groundhog's Day every day for a year now. So I mean, it's just the same old, same old, same old. I think one of the toughest problems is trying to remember what day it is. It's sometimes a little difficult to get a handle on that. But we're all fine and just waiting until this the vaccines get rolled out and the disease gets tamped down.
Well, that can't come soon enough. And for the folks, you guys who have gotten your vaccines, congratulations, and get round 2 and get back at it. No more sitting around, but hopefully for our club, appreciate everybody sharing today. It was a good day. It was good to see and hear from everybody. And I'm looking forward to hopefully soon we can be back like we used to be. Would certainly be a lot of fun and that personal interaction. There's nothing like it. So no, we don't have any computer geeks in our club, but I guess if we did, they'd be happy the way it is. But otherwise, I think we all like people. So all right. Well, everybody have a great day. Enjoy, and we'll catch you all next week, hopefully at 12 noon. Right, Chuck? We're going to verify our presenter next week, right?
Yeah, and actually, it's Michelle Bailey from the E-Club is going to talk to us a little more about the E-Club and how it got started, but also some of the other fundraisers that they have going on. So join us to welcome Michelle next week.
Everybody go home this week and pull out your favorite recipe and get them sent into the E-Club for Darla, all right?
Right.
Please do. KeystoneRotaryClub.org.
Can we give you any of our favorite alcoholic beverage recipes?
Absolutely. I'm not sure if they'll make the cookbook, but please send them.
I was going to ask, is it a food recipe or bar recipe?
So far, it's just a food recipe, but
no one mentioned who else has become a quasi good bartender these days. I know I have during COVID. So. All right, all take care. Good to see you.
Take care.
Good to see you all. Take
Thanks,
care.
Jim.
Have a good day.
Thanks, guys. Good to see you.